Try this again. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Okay. All right. Shalom, shalom, Lord Christ, out of the water. Slagi. I was having some technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, now we can get started. Salakia. All right, Shalom Yahaba Hashem Yahushai Barakatham to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shema Alataba Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. We are the Isupk, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And we've been teaching the truth that so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are God's chosen people according to the Bible, and that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, we're going to talk about something I think a lot of people might not speak on when it comes to the Bible. And there's this big confusion that I noticed with so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Natives, right? And the issue that I see, of course, the oppressor has all different types of ways to divide us. For some odd reason, we have a hard way of trying to understand the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. And because of that, we have these little petty indifferences with each other. And on top of that, we cannot properly, how can I say this, dissect the Bible. We can in the ISUPK and the Commandant General Yohana, but brothers and sisters outside the school, they can't properly dissect the Bible when it comes to race and nationality. And one of the biggest ones in the Bible, I think everybody knows this. You can check the title. It's the book of Ruth. The book of Ruth. I'm not going to give it away yet. I'll just give everybody a chance to tune in. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because I'll say a little bit. In the book of Ruth, it refers to her as a Moabitess. It doesn't say an Israelite, right? Now, here in the school, we teach what? That Moab would be the so-called Asians, the Chinese, etc., right? Those of the Mongoloid descent. So you're probably wondering, okay, here in the truth, of course, we teach the truth about the Bible. And the truth about the Bible is that the Israelites are God's chosen people and that we are a holy people. Holy means sacred or separate. And the Lord has punished us many times in the Bible for being with heathens, right? So you're probably wondering, okay, if the Most High doesn't want us to be with heathens, meaning somebody of a different nation, why would you make a book about a Moabite? Doesn't make any sense, right? We're going to talk a little bit about Job too, but we're going to focus more on Ruth, the book of Ruth, right? With that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll give everybody just a quick moment to tune in. And we're going to talk about the difference between race, nationality, and ethnicity. Because people often get confused when we say, for example, Judites say that, okay, we're not African. And people will look at us and be like, what are you talking about? You're African. Look at you. You have West African descent. But they forget that Judah was in West Africa. The southern tribes went to West Africa. People get confused when it comes to our Latino brothers and sisters, especially because Latino is not an ethnicity. It's not it's not a race. It's an ethnicity. Anybody can be Latino, okay? A Latino is just somebody who was born in Latin America. If I was born in Brazil, I would be Latino. If I spoke Spanish and I was born in Brazil or Mexico or Venezuela or Panama, you know, Nicaragua, Honduras, whatever. Anybody can be Latino. So you're probably thinking, okay, well, if anybody can be Latino, why do y'all consistently say that Latinos are Israelites? That's such a wide variety of people. Well, we're going to talk about it. Because remember, the Bible says you are who your father is. We'll talk about all that, right? But with that being said, we're going to get started. We'll get started with the Lord's Prayer. So, Amadium, just me up here. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. All right, so this is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Matazaka, Ayah, Salakia. Amadiam upon Yahakwadam, which means to rise or stand and face the east. And now we'll begin with the Lord's Prayer. Salakia. I'll start from the beginning. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Matazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Ayah, Washamayim, Adanlanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'alam, Wataparath, Laolamyam, Aman. Now in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babukasha, Latadmanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Rapa'ah, Kol, Makala, Wakol, Madawa, Hakak, Matahar, Hamatazariah, Hakak, La'akwayim, Hamathium, Hakak, Io, Rakawath, Ma'ala, the God Shun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Amun. Now in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Me'aka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Wa Tazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyim, Ha Saranyim, Ha Patazayoyim, Ha Kayayoyim, Wa Ha'akwathim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Now in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayunya, All, Ahorim, Yan, Yaba'ah, Izoria, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Ayadan, Mamawat, Regalka, All, Yanawam, Shemorka, Ana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyamka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Belialah, Yahweh, Yashamarka, McCall, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaathka, Wabawaathka, Maida, Wa'ai, Awalum. Now in the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all, Zemaya, Bakah, all, Takarash, Wa'al, Tashakwats, all, Kaya, Hana, Awyibika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Ail, Imaka, Ya'imwa, Sawada, Waita, Yaitazawa, Ail, Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, looks like it, Lakawa, Wanakakinum, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum, Yasharala, Awada, Kaya, Nasazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashima Alium, Mawaba, Wahagorium, Gabor, Wamawan, Wamalak, Palashath, Amishabia, Tazawar, Gum, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imum, Hayawa, Zorawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadyim, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayabyan, Banakor, Koyashwan, Nashamarwa, Bayan, Diara, Hayawa, Dama, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Kairab, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazolmanai, Ko, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amowa, it's like Nayarasha, Lanawa, Ath, Naawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunya, Roaka'a, Ka'ash, Labaira, Yaira, Wakalahaba, Falahat, Ariyam, Khan, Taradatma, Basairaka, Wabasa, Wapathka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyahum, Walawan, Waya, Bakwashwa, Shemka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahawa, Adiai, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Diawa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahawa, Labadka, Alyawan, Alkal, Harataza. Now the English. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A sword also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Ored, and like Zaid. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high of all the earth. All right, Salakia. All right, so we're going to be starting with the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Aya aya, kaya maya, shapa'ah. Let's see, hashapatayam, waya aya. Na, let's see, na'im, let's see, kara'ai, waya la'un, ayash, maka'ath, lacham, yahawada, let's see, lagaad, let's see, lagaad, let's see, kasha naya, mawa'aba, let's see, mawa'aba, haya, wayashataya, washa naya, slakia. That's banya, washa'am, asha, let's say, hayash, let's see, alayama la'an, asham, yasham, ashatya, naamya, slakia, naamya, yaash, shanya, manaya, ma'alayan. Let's see. Yabala ya'an, Slovakia. Let's see, apa nathayam, mana ya'ath, makaya'ath, la'am, Yahawada. Let's see, Yahawada, aya ma'an, shadaya, manaab, Yaha Sha'am. Waya Ma'ath ala ya malai la'an Ayash na'ai maya Athasha na'ad aya let's see, washa naya mana ya'a waya, let's see, waya sha'aya la'am nashaya'am ma, let's see, let's see, maba ya na'ath sham let's see, atha slakia hayaka'ath ida pa'a yasha'am shanayath dayath wayashamaya sham ba, let's see, kaya sha'ad shanya'am wayama thaya gum shanya'am makala, let's see, makala'an wagbalayaan yathasha slakia wathasha'ad ha sha'a mashanya wala, let's see, wala ya'a wala ya'a yama'a sha'a, see, wathapa'am wait, let's see, kaya'a wabalatha'a wabalatha'a yathasha'ab mashadya maya'ab let's see, kaya shama'ai kashada'a ma'ai slakia maya'ab kaya slakia pakwa'ad, let's see, started with the daughters. Yeah, let's see, Yahweh Imad Amya Tha'ath La'am La'am Wathataza'a Ma'an Hamakwa Ya'am Ashad. Let's see. That is Hayatha'a Shama'a Washataya Balathaya'a Aima Yathala Bana'a Mada, let's see, Mada Ra'an Lasha Ya'a all Adai Yahawada. Okay, so that's it for the 7 verses. So now let me see. We're reading the 7 verses in the English. Let's see. 6. All right, so this is the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man, Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab. Okay, so this is the country of Moab. Understand that, right? He and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. So these people traveled to Judah. They traveled to Moab. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab, right? So now when you read this, this would lead you to believe that these brothers right here were committing interracial marriage, because it says that they were in the country of Moab and they took them women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them, and the women was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab now that the Lord has visited his people in giving them bread. Now let's read that one more time. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord has visited his people in giving them bread. Keyword, his people. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. So they were living in Moab, the country of Moab, and they went back to Judah. Now it says, and Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, go return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. Now, this is why it's very important to read into the context of the Bible, right? The Lord said his people, and it says the Lord deal kindly with you. The Lord only wants to deal with a certain nation of people. That's his people, Israelites, but it doesn't say Israelites though, but they were in the country of Moab. So is this talking about Moabites? Let's keep reading. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and then lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, turn again, my daughters. Why will ye go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husband? Turn again, my daughters. Go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have an husband also tonight, and should also bear sons. Would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Would ye stay for them for having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. So she's of old age. This woman is of old age. She's speaking to her daughters-in-law as if, they're her own daughters. You understand? She's pretty much telling them, hey, I'm about to kick rocks pretty soon. Y'all need to go on. And they lifted up their voice and wept. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, I entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. So this is very tricky because some people will read this and think that this is a Moabite woman from Moab who pretty much is choosing to serve the Most High, the real God, over Moabite fake gods. And it's very easy to get into that idea because, well, we just read that they were in the country of Moab and they left Moab and went to Judah. And she took her daughters-in-law, her daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. So this would lead you to believe that these are Moabite women. This is why it's very key to know the truth and come into the school, because when you read all throughout the Bible, they tell you multiple times in the Bible that the Most High does not want you to sleep with heathen women. Like it's so many verses, I lost count. We always talk about King Solomon. We know about that. We can go to the book of Ezra. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now. We'll pause right there. Right. Let's go to the book of, I believe it's the book of Ezra. The book of Ezra, chapter 9. Let me see real quick. Chronicles. Just want to read y'all something. Okay, the book of Ezra, chapter. It is chapter 9. Okay, Salakia. So this is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. Now, just a quick recap, right? This is when we were fighting the Midianites. And at this time period, when we were fighting the Midianites, some brothers decided to take heathen women captive, right? And you can read in the Bible, just I'm paraphrasing, Moses was wroth. Moses even questioned them, why do you have these women prisoners? Like, why did you kill off all the men and save the women? Because Moses ain't stupid. He understands what's going on. There's only one reason you want to keep women prisoners. There's a reason why you're doing that, right? We were sleeping with Midianitish and Moabitish women, heathen women who are not Israelites. And what ended up happening, the Lord didn't like us doing that, so he put a plague. He put a plague on all of us. There was a plague going around, and everybody was trying to figure out what was going on. Long story short, there was a brother sleeping with a Midianitish woman in a tent. And because of that, they caught him and speared him, threw a javelin through him and the woman while they was, getting it on in the tent. And then when that happened, the curse was lifted. The whole reason of it was because interracial marriage. You read it time and time again. You read about Solomon, King Solomon. You read about Samson with the Philistine woman, and we're reading about it now, right? These are all different nations of women. Let's keep reading. Verse 2. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves, as I just said, and for their sons. So their sons were sleeping with these women too. So that the holy, keyword holy, meaning separate, sacred, seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and the rulers hath been chief in this trespass. A trespass, meaning that you're sinning against the Most High. What is a sin? A sin is a transgression of the law. Who was the law given to? You can read that in Leviticus 26 and 46, where we were given the law. Okay, the Israelites. The only way you can break the law, you have to be given the law. So you're probably thinking, okay, you read all throughout the Bible, and it's constantly stated interracial marriage is bad. It's bad. It's bad. The Most High does not like it. Over and over and over again, right? So that would make you think, okay, so if the Lord doesn't like interracial marriage and the Lord doesn't like heathens mixing in with Israelites, why would you make a book about a Moabite? Let's keep reading. Let's go back to the book of Ruth, right? The book of Ruth, We're going to start verse 17. Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 17. Where thou diest will I die, and and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee in me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So the two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass when they were in Bethlehem that all the city was moved about them. And they said, Is this Naomi? And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, I'm gonna get into that in a second, her daughter-in-law with her, which returned out of the country of Moab. And they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest. So now, this is where things get a little tricky. So they came out of the country of Moab. We all know that Ruth was in Moab. Okay, Orpah was in Moab. That's where they got them from, right? And right here it says that she is the Moabitess. Okay, I'm going to show y'all something. For anybody who doesn't have it, I suggest y'all get it if y'all don't already. I said it a couple times during class. It's very good study material. It's also a good way to cut anybody who tries to come against you with the Bible. So I'm going to type in Moabitess, right? Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 22. We just read it. So now I am going to look up the definition in the Hebrew of what a Moabitess is. So now I'm going to read to you the definitions of Moabitess. It says a Moabite. So it can be an actual Moabite, right? From father, what father? It also says a citizen of Moab. It also says an inhabitant of the land of Moab. You see what's going on? You see what's going on with that, right? So now here's the thing. When you read into the Bible, sometimes one word will have many different meanings. Meanings. For example, ruddy and red have the same root word, the same root Hebrew word in the Bible. That's why some people get confused when they try to say, oh, well, black people cannot be Israelites because Jacob and Esau was red, right? Esau was red. He wasn't described ruddy. He was described red. It doesn't say what Jacob was, but it does say the complexion of King Solomon and King David. They were described as ruddy. Here's the thing. Even though they have the same root word, these are two different colors. Red is red. This is red, right? That's red. Now, we call Esau white people today. That's just what we call them, right? The thing is, they're not really white. They're actually red. Put an Edomite in the sun too long, they turn red. Okay? Ruddy is a light brown, a fair complexion of brown, or a reddish brown. Perfect example, a lot of northern tribe brothers, like the natives, they are of, some people will say, of copper-colored skin. They're ruddy, okay? And this might shock some people, right? Because y'all love to say all southern tribe people are Africans, okay? Well, I use your own logic against you. When you go to Africa, you'll actually find some people who are light-skinned, and they're not mixed with white, but they're from Africa, right? So that just shows you that we can come in many different shades. You don't have to be mixed with white in order to be light-skinned. If you're, a southern tribe brother or sister. We all know that we were in West Africa. We know, okay? Judah was in West Africa. You can go look up a map. You can Google it. It's not even that hard to find anymore. It's been released so many damn times. My point being is two words, different meanings, but same root word in the Bible. Same thing with Moabitis or Moabite. It can mean an actual Moabite, but it can also mean a citizen of Moab. So Ruth wasn't a real Moabite by race. She wasn't a Mongoloid. You get my point? She was not Asian. She was a sister, but she lived in Moab. So guess what that would make her? She's a Moabitess by nationality, not race, nationality. Okay, perfect example. If I was born in Germany, my nationality would be German, but I'm not Caucasian. If a Chinese person was born in Jamaica, they would identify as Jamaican, but they're not black. They're Chinese. They're Asian by race. If an Arab is born in Brazil, they would be Brazilian by nationality, but they are Middle Eastern. They're Middle Eastern. They're not a real quote unquote Latino. They are not of native descent. You get my point? And that's the next one I wanted to get into real quick. The term Latino. This is why people get confused when we say Latinos are Israelites, right? Paraphrasing. The book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. That's a scripture very, very easy to use to tell you that you are who your father is. You can also read in the book of Genesis, chapter 38, where it shows that Judah procreates with a Canaanite woman, even though she's a Canaanite, and even though he did sleep with a heathen woman, all of his children were all Judites because they are the seed of their father. Latino is an ethnicity. It's not a race of people. A Latino is somebody who was born in Latin America or the Latin Americas, respectively. And usually they have 3 traces of DNA, so-called African, European, and Native Indigenous DNA. So does that mean that all Latinos are Israelites? No. Some of them are Spaniard. Some of them are Spaniard, okay? You might even have a Hamite in there too. Hell, you might even have a Mizraimite in there or two because some Latinos have Egyptian DNA. You get my point? But there are also some who are in fact Israelites because from the seed of their father. Some people will try to argue, okay, well, it's been rumored that a lot of the native indigenous men were wiped out and the Edomites raped the native women. Now, they did try to kill off a lot of the men. They did the same thing with us too. They tried to kill us off and then procreate with our women. Because somewhere in their spirit, they knew that even though this child might come out with some, some woolly hair, or they might come out a little brown or whatever, or some indigenous features, that's my child. That's a Edomite. Okay? That's why you can't always go off of a look anymore. And you always can't go off of a nationality. Okay? Even the term African American, are all African Americans Judites? Nope. Some of them got white daddies. So therefore, they are an Edomite. Okay? You are who your father is, and you're not just an Israelite by nationality. It don't work that way for us. Okay? You could be born anywhere. It doesn't matter. It could be born anywhere. You cannot be an Israelite by nationality. You're an Israelite by blood. But at this time, this was a sister who lived in Moab, and she was labeled a Moabitess because she was a Moabite citizen. Okay? We're going to keep reading, though. I'm going to get more into it. So we're going to start with the book of Ruth, chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of of wealth, and the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess, not a real Moabite, but a citizen of Moab, said unto Naomi, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him, in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. And she went and came and cleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel. Now, again, Moabitish. They didn't call her a Moabite, not a real Moabite. They said she's the Moabitish woman. Ish meaning something like, but not exactly like. The same way that the fake Jews say that they're Jewish. They're kind of, sort of, but they're not the original. They're trying to be like that, but they're not the original. It's the same thing with Ruth. Ruth was called a Moabitess, a citizen of Moab, a Moabitish damsel, meaning she's kind of, sort of like a Moabite, but she's not really a Moabite. That's why it's good to read in context, because if you go to anybody else outside the school, they'll tell you that this is a Moabite woman. This is a Mongoloid Asian woman, but the Lord just happened to like her. Let me tell you something right now. The Lord don't change. There's a reason why the Most High is referred to as the Ancient of Days, okay? Think of all the things that have happened throughout history, and the Lord has never forgotten anything. He always gets his get back. So let me ask you something. All the scriptures that you read in the Bible about interracial marriage, all the atrocities that we've committed for interracial marriage and sleeping with heathen women, okay? Even in the book of Nehemiah, I'm paraphrasing, Nehemiah says, and I quote, has not Solomon sinned for this? Referring to King Solomon when he slept with heathen women. Because what happens when you sleep with heathen women? First and foremost, that's a form of self-hate. Our women are better than everybody else, okay? Second of all, when you sleep with a heathen woman, a lot of brothers, what they like to do is they like to kind of like be like that woman. You know, you want to appease her. You want to find ways to make her happy. Well, what better way to make her happy than to dive into her culture? That's what Solomon did. And a lot of brothers do that today when they get a foreign woman. There be a lot of brothers that be getting women from like the Philippines, Japan, India, what else? They be getting Arabic women. I seen brothers, for some reason, brothers love Filipino women. I don't know why. My point being is you get these women and then you start to dive into their culture. You lose a sense of who you are. And once you do that, you have sex with that woman. That's your wife now. It's your wife, okay? She's not your rib, because a rib is that she's a part of you, you know, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. But she's your wife by law. You can't just leave her, right? You're gonna procreate with her, and then you're gonna have a child. Now that child, like I brought up in Genesis chapter 38, let's say you a Benjamite. Okay, your child is gonna be a Benjamite. Here's the problem though. Your Benjamite children are gonna grow up around a Arabic woman, a Elamite or a Ishmaelite or whoever. So now your child is going to be introduced to heathen culture, and they're going to be more adept to want to be with it because it's their mama. Like, that's their mother. Like, even though their mother might be a heathen, their mother carried them around for 9 months. So, of course, they're going to have a soft spot for their mother. They're going to look at you like, well, why would I hate the Arabs when my mom is Arab? Why would I hate the Caucasians when my mom is Caucasian? Some brothers and sisters aren't strong enough to do that because that's their mother. You're complicating things. So just to alleviate all of it, don't sleep with a heathen woman. With all that being said, why would the Lord make a book about a Moabite? Because it's not a real Moabite. This is an Israelite woman. Doesn't say what tribe she's from, but this is an Israelite woman who lived in Moab. And you can read the hints in it. Because fake camps are going to tell you that that's a real Moabite. That's really because they just want to sleep with heathen women and they lack reading comprehension. It's really what it is. Okay? But we're going to continue. So it says right here, verse 6, and the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. What time is it? but abide here fast by Oslakia. Verse 8. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, hearest that thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence and abide, but Slakia, but abide here fast by my maidens. Let thine eyes be in the field that they do reap, and go thou after them, that I have not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee. And when thou art athirst, Slakia, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? Now, this is another one right here, right? A strange woman in the Bible is a foreign woman or a woman of another nation. Again, you got to read into context. This is a sister, but she was like, she's Hellenized. Just like how it said that Paul was a Greek, but he revealed himself later that he was an Israelite, right? But he was Greek by nationality. You can read all throughout the book of Acts for that. That's like not Acts. You can read all throughout, I forgot, I think it's Corinthians. Salakia, I'm paraphrasing. But my point being is they were Greek, they were Hellenized by nationality. They were Grecian, right? Just like how we're called American. This is another thing, matter of fact, this is another thing that some people get confused on. I'm going to briefly talk about Gentiles, right? Because some people get confused with this also. There's been times throughout the Bible where Gentiles are referred to as the heathens. But then there's other times where Gentiles are not heathens. Because you'll read scriptures where it says, you know, the Lord's going to get the Gentiles as well. And people will think, oh, okay, well, see, that means that God loves everybody. Let me show y'all something real quick. Go back. See. Let's see. So, matter of fact, I'll read this real quick, right? The book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 9. Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first and also of the Gentile. Romans chapter 2, verse 10. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first and also the Gentile. So a lot of times people think that a Gentile is always somebody who is a heathen, somebody who is another race of people or another nation of people. Sometimes, however, in the Bible, when you read about a Gentile, if my phone will load, Salakia, it's not talking about that. It's talking about a Jew, an Israelite that is Greek by nationality. And I'm going to read to you the definitions. This is Greek. Salakia, this is a Gentile in the Bible. A Greek either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or of the Greek islands or colonies. In a wider sense, the name embraces all nations not Jews that made the language, customs, and learnings of the Greeks their own. The primary reference is to a difference in religion and worship, right? And then it even has a root word, a Hellen, a Grecian, or inhabitant of Hellas. By extension, a Greek-speaking person. It says especially a non-Jew. Here's the thing. Sometimes in the Bible, the Gentiles are in fact heathens, but sometimes the Gentile is a Hellenized Israelite. An Israelite that was cut off, just like how we're called American, just like how some natives are called Latino. It's how you got Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and Haitians. Let's get something straight real quick. The only difference between us is a boat stop during the slave trade. It's facts, okay? Second of all, I know some brothers and sisters like this. I can't stand it. It's this running joke that I've been hearing since I was a kid. I know black-eyed Dominican. It's so stupid, okay? I've learned from other Dominicans and other Latino brothers and sisters. They've said this to me because there's anti-blackness everywhere. The reason why some of our brothers and sisters, especially from Latin America, love to identify with their nationality and not their race, it's a form of self-hate. It's the illusion of, if I identify with my nationality, I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Brazilian, I'm Venezuelan, I'm Panamanian, then maybe people will forget that I'm black. Because guess what? African Americans do that too. Some people like to drop you can drop the African part. I'm not going to fight you on that. But they'll drop the black part or the Afro-American part. And they'll say, well, I'm American. I'm American. That's what I am. All you're doing is really it's self-hate, and really it's just coon activity. You're just trying to culture appropriate, and you're trying to adopt a label that colonizers gave you. It's like, if I tell myself that I'm American and I act like an American and I dress like an American and I speak like an American, then maybe white people will think that I'm American. They won't see me from my color. They'll see me from my nationality. Let me break it down to you real quick. Nobody is going to see you for your nationality. It's just facts. You can try to be white all you want. No one is going to see you for your nationality. When I walk around somewhere, you think anybody's going to know that my father is African American and my mother is Trinidadian? No, they're just going to see a black dude. Also, growing up on the East Coast, we got all the different varieties of black people, if you will. Jamaican, Trinidadian, Panamanian, Haitian, Colombian, because there's black people in Colombia. Okay. I think I said Puerto Rican already, if I haven't already. Dominican. The list goes on, right? The Caribbean islands, Latin America, Brazilian. That was my friend group growing up. When white people saw us, when Asian people saw us, when Arabic, Middle Eastern people saw us, you think they sat there and said, oh, look at the Haitians. They're different from the Dominicans. The Dominicans are different from the African Americans. The African Americans are different from the Jamaicans and the Colombians and the Cubans. And no, nobody did that. They saw a bunch of black people. They don't see nationality. They see you for what you are. So when you try to adopt these names, I'm American, I'm Dominican. When you try to adopt these names so wholeheartedly, you're really just showing how colonized you really are. You won't identify with who you really are. You'll just identify with the name that was given to you. You're Hellenized. And it happened to us just like how it is now. It happened to us back then. And it causes confusion. That's why I still see arguments to this day. I know black, I Dominican. To all my Dominicans out there, we know you're Dominican. Okay, we know. we know what the Dominican Republic is. Guess what? You're still one of us. The colonizers just dropped you off somewhere else. That's all it is. Okay, get over yourself. Salakia. Okay. But this is another key example right here. Like this sister right here, just going back to the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verse 10. And she says, what have I found grace in thine eyes that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? You got to think, this is a sister that grew up in Moab. Now she's growing up, not growing up, Salakia. She's amongst her real people. She doesn't view herself, right here at least, as a real Israelite. She's Hellenized. She's viewed as a Moabite or a Moabitish woman, but she's not a real Moabite. That's the problem with our people. That's the problem with colonization and how it still is deeply rooted in our minds today. Now we want to differentiate between each other. I'm not Dominican, I'm African American. I'm not African American, I'm Panamanian. I'm not Panamanian, I'm from Mexico, I'm Mexican. You're the same. You're the same. Put you in a car together. The cops ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, look at all these other foreigners. They're gonna look at you like, look at all these black people. That's it. Just stop. Okay. Well, we're gonna continue, right? Wrap it up soon. And it says right here in the book, let's see, the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verse 11. And Boaz answered and said unto her, it hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto unto thy mother-in-law, since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother in the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not here, Slakia, which thou knewest not heretofore. Again, this, remember, we just read, this isn't a real Moabite. You got to understand, she doesn't view herself as an Israelite. She views herself as a Moabite citizen. So to see these people who may look like her, she doesn't comprehend it. All right. And even some other people are kind of treating her like that. Like, she's one of us, but she's not one of us. But Boaz understands. Verse 12, the Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward to given thee of the Lord God of Israel. Not the God of Moab, the God of Israel. The Lord not going to deal with Ruth unless she's an Israelite. Right? Under whose wings thou art come to trust. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord. For that thou hast comforted me, for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid, that I be not like unto one of thine handmaids, handmaidens. And Boaz said unto her, at mealtime come thou hither and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and she reached her parched corn, and she reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed and left. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. Let's see, we'll skip that. For time's sake, let's see. Send on to her. It's good, my daughter. I'm going to just skip down a little bit. There's a certain scripture I want to read real quick. Okay, right here. The book of Ruth, chapter 3, verse 1. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred with those handmaids thou waste? So now, let me see. It's not the one I'm looking for. It's Salakia. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so the book of Ruth, chapter 3, verse, we're going to start at verse 7. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. A kinsman. Kinsman meaning that you part of the family. You are part of our race. It's hinted multiple times that Ruth was related to these people, not as like, incest type way, but as in these are her people. These are her real people. Who is it? Boaz is reassuring Ruth, like, you are my people. Okay. Even earlier, we read the God of Israel, not the God of Moab. The God of Israel was dealing with Ruth. Ruth is not a Moabite. See, she's a Moabitess. She was born in Moab. She was raised in Moab. She was a citizen of Moab because that's her nationality. Ruth was not a Moabite, not a real one. Okay. Verse 10, and he said, Blessed be thou of thy Lord. It's like it. Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman, howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. Keep saying kinsman, meaning that, long story short, Ruth is an Israelite. Ruth is an Israelite. Kinsman, that's just like how black people say, hey, that's kinfolk right there. That's a relative. That's my people. He's saying that you are my people. Okay. No great honor is going to come to a Moabite woman. Not a real Moabite. Okay. And if the Lord were to allow a book of a Moabite to become a real Moabite, that would defeat everything that the Lord is about. The Lord is about separation more times than many. Okay. Another key one. Let's see. I got time real quick. I'll read one more scripture before I end the class. I'll briefly talk about another person who some people get their ethnicity, or I guess you could say race, wrong. Let's see. We're going to go the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 1. So everybody knows who Job is, right? There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright and one that feared God and eschewed evil. Where is Uz? If you look on a map, you can Google it for yourself. Uz, that's Edomite territory. Those were Edomites were. So some people will think that Job was an Edomite because he lived in Uz. But here's the thing. When you read the Bible, it doesn't say that he was an Edomite. It just says he lived in Uz. That's all it was. Even then, there were some Israelites that were scattered. That's what people don't understand. There were Israelites in ancient Greece. There were Israelites in Moab. There were Israelites in Canaan, in the land of Canaan before it was conquered, right? There were Israelites in Egypt, remember? There were Israelites in the land of Uz. And that was their nationality. But who they are does not change. If you read through all the books, there's one thing in common about all these people. These are all Israelite men and women that the Lord dealt with, but they were in different locations. That's it. They're just different locations. So we have to remember that, right? Fake Hebrew Israelites, they'll teach you that they were an Edomite or they were a Moabite. And the real reason, you got to look at the spirit behind why people teach stuff like that. It's because they really want to sleep with heathen women, or they want to sleep with heathen men, whatever. Or they just love Edomites. They want to still hold on to that ideology that God loves everybody, which he doesn't. And we read it multiple times in the Bible. Okay. Also, do I have time? I'll say that for another class. But with that, I'll end the class. The water for everybody that tuned in was greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We need to continue pushing this truth out because the Most High is working, man. Y'all see all these plays. COVID is still around. So I don't know why people think it's not. COVID is still around. People still catching monkeypox. I don't know what other plague the Most High gonna come up with. But I know one thing, California getting hot. It's been like 100+ degrees for like the past week. And this is just, look, I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better get in class because that's just a prelude of what's to come. All right. This land gonna be bathed in fire at one point. Keep playing with the Most High if you want to. Y'all think it's hot now. Oh, it's gonna get real hot. Hell is gonna be on earth. Hell is on earth, but you really gonna feel held in if you're not serving the Most High. Okay. And if you're somebody who's a non-Israelite and you're watching this class or seeing this class, best thing I can say for you is donate to the school. Best thing I could. The Lord may have mercy on you. Who knows? You might have a spot in the kingdom of being a servant. Good luck with that. Let's see. Bobby Fagans. Oh, Thawad, appreciate it. So with that, I'll end the class. So Amadium, just me up here. Laya Sharala. Madim upon Yahakwadam, which means to stand and face the east. We get started with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. It's the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuvka, Taba'ah, Atazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Atamanawa, Lakum, Kol, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathyanawa, Walaa, Tabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Obal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Kamalakwath, Wa'ala, Wa'ataparath, La'alamyam, Amun. Now in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Akat, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakashah, Lathan Lanawa, Akat, Hakat, Larapa'ah, Kol, Makala, Wakol, Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, La'aquayim, Hamathim, Hakat, Io, Rakawath, Hatama'ala, Lagarshon, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for water, a mud. Now in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah, Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Miyaka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Wa Tazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapya, Ha Saranya, Ha Kwatazayoya, Wa Akwathya, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for water, Amun. Now in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayenya, All, Ahorium, Ma'yan, Yaba'ah, Izoria, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Ayathan, Umawat, Wagalka, All, Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yanyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayallah, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athapashka, Yahweh, Salakia, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabawa'afka, Maitha, Wa'ai, I will love. Now in the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all, Damiyalaka, all, Lakarash, Wa'al, Ashakwat, all, Kayahana, Awayebika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Ail, Armaka, Ya'amwa, Sawadah, Waita, Yatazawa, Ail, Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidum, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Shum, Yasharala, Iwada, Kaya, Natazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Alahaya, Ahalya, Adawam, Wayashama Alium, Mawaba, Wagoyim, Gabal, Wamawan, Wamalak, Palashath, Amishabia, Tazawar, Dum, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zorawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salat, Aisha, Laham, Kamadyam, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayebian, Banakol, Koyeshwan, Nishamanwa, Bayan, Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Kairab, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazalmanai, Wakal, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunya, Rawaka'a, Ka'ash, Tabaira, Ya'ira, Wa, Kalahaba, Salahat, Haryam, Kun, Tharadama, Basairaka, Wabasa, Wapavka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyahum, Qualawan, Waya, Aquashwa, Shumka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahawa, Adyai, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Dayawa, Kaya, Atha, Shumka, Yahawah, Labarka, Ayawan, Alcor, Haratazah. Now in the English, keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make atonement. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, like Zaid. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high of all the earth. Shalom, Israel.